Hey guys, here with Mum, and we're going to do some bottling today with the Satsuma plums.
Yeah. Hi, these are Satsuma plums. They're like this, nice and red. These are some jam that Sharon made last week from them.
With Mum's help.
These are the very ripe ones we're going to make wine with.
Yay.
And now I'm going to do the ones for the put in the bottles. Go around. These are easy to take the stones out because they're just fairly free. Just like that, and there's a stone and there's a plum.
Nice.
So that was a bit ripe one, so here's a wine one.
So you just sort of flick it with a knife, is that right, Mum?
You just have to get the end in it.
Ah, got it.
The Sharon's had a lot of plums off one tree this year.
Those that the birds didn't get. I'll be making more wine next year because I could have put aside the early ones that ripened quicker.
And they might have been the bigger ones.
They probably were.
So I keep going here until I've got enough to put in the bottles.
Do you remember when we used to do them for the shows?
That was very slow work.
It was, but you taught us so much, Mum. It's very precise, wasn't it?
It had to be.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to go help. So this is the Vacola set. You'll need the big Vacola outfit, which has a thermometer on the side, spacer in the bottom, and it holds 8 jars. The jars need rings to seal, a clip on top of the lid, and they get packed in the jars, like Mum's doing there.
These are the packed. You might be able to see it from the front as well.
So, Mum, there's probably over a kilo of fruit in each one, do you think?
Easy for these, yes.
Yeah.
They're smaller fruit, so you get more in a jar.
Yeah, so they're packing quite well, aren't they?
They are.
Yep. And for show standard, like we talked about...
They're not show standard.
No. I remember having nightmares about it when you were teaching me when we were kids because it's so precise. But then it has to be because, as you say, it's judged. Okay, so this is the sugar syrup going on. I've used a coffee percolator jug because it's got a nice small spout, and it's made up with 1 part sugar to 1.5 parts water. So just tip slowly, and you want all the air bubbles to come out. Right, on to the next one. I forgot to say that when you're preparing the plums for bottling, just make sure that you take the plum stalk out. Okay, so we made an executive decision to use the last of the peaches because this is the very last little tray, and as you can see there's some bird pecks that we need to cut around. They're delicious eating peaches, just like the ones we grew up on the home block.
And very juicy.
Yes. But by bottling 1 jar, which is all we'll get with what's left, it preserves the peach season. And Mum's just taking the skins off for me. I haven't got one of those mobile holders yet, so I can't do the no hands gig yet. But it looks like we'll have 1 jar of peaches. The pears are still ripening a little bit, and then we've got 5 of plums ready to go, and I reckon there's another 2. and then we can fire up the Vacola outfit this afternoon. Preserves for the season in wintertime. Beauty. So which one of these is not like the other? This is the beautiful fresh peaches in the jar, and Mum's just putting the rubber on top which makes a seal. And I forgot to say as well, before you grab a jar, because these are all second hand and just put them in the cupboard for next year, but just run a finger along the top and make sure that there's no cracks, because that'll mean that the jar won't seal and the fruit will go off. I think that was my favourite part, Mum, getting the rubber where it's...
Yeah, have to flick it. This one's landed nicely, so it's no twists in it. So now the lid goes on and the clip goes on, and that's done. So we just keep going now.
2 more left after this one. So Mum, when there's a twist in the rubber seal, that just means that
there could be air coming in. It's not a complete seal.
And so the fruit might go off.
It won't seal.
Yeah. So just flicking that sealing ring so that there's no twists. There's one. And working it around. Okay, so Vacola set is warming up. Pop's made a homemade displacement sheet underneath, which is just a big rectangular sheet of metal, and it's so that it distributes the heat evenly. It doesn't burn in one place. The jars are lidded, ready to go, and in the base of tank goes that side up. Put the jars on top. So all the jars are in. Now I just need to add water to the 3/4 level mark on the jars. And to test it, we've got a homemade dipstick, as in wooden spoon, level with the jars, and yep, that's right. You can see the water just there. That's good. I'll put the lid on and let it cook. Well, it's been an awesome day of jam making and getting the pits out of Satsuma, so we have the evidence of the plum stain, and the fruit are now out of the Vacola outfit. Ta-da! Pretty cool. On the temperature gauge, it needed to sit at 90 degrees for 3/4 of an hour. And as Mum said, the important thing is to bring it slowly to the boil. Otherwise, the fruit ends up near the top of the jar. So, there you go. Peaches and plums, all part of the living simple concept things that we grew up with as when we were kids. Pretty cool. So there you go, 8 bottles that have been preserved in the Vacola outfit today. I'll leave the clips on until morning and then take them off when they're cool. 1 delicious peach and 7 delicious plums for the use of when they're out of season. Fantastic stuff, and awesome to be bottling with Mum again. It's very lovely, continuing the family tradition. Pretty cool.